I mean, you're actually one of the two people in this conversation who have a career.
Well, there was only a few sound students, so you actually did more films than anyone else, because most of the students were either camera operators or DPs and directors, producers. There's a lot of art department. I mean, there weren't many people who wanted to do sound. I mean, I didn't want to do sound. I applied, I think, as a director on the course, and I got rejected. But I went back and literally begged them to get on the course because it was so highly regarded. And I said, I just want to do anything, I just want to get on the course. And they said, we got a position in sound.
It's hard. Sound is hard. I don't think, the funny thing is, I think most people choose not to do it because they think it's not that glamorous. But, I would choose not to do it because you don't want to be the person that fucked up sound.
Yeah. There's also that. I mean, because you're the only one who knows if it's fucked up, and no one else can see it. It's not like you've got the picture on a monitor, or there's, people watching the scene in front of them. Even if they haven't got a monitor, you can see what's being shot, whether it's something's wrong or not, if a prop's not there or the lighting's off or a light goes out. But with sound, you've got the headphones on and you're the only one who has to pipe up. And, usually it's in the middle of a critical scene where the actress has just managed on the 7th take to start crying and, the director's loving it. And this is the one, and you've realized, you've not pressed record or something horrific. And you have to go, sorry guys, we're gonna just go one more for a technical. Yeah, I mean, Troy was such a huge film for me to do. The film Troy by Wolfgang Petersen, the sadly late Wolfgang Petersen, because I think he died last year or the year before. But I mean, that was monumental because I'd already done a few sort of big blockbusters, but nothing that scale. And I think at the time I was going through a rough patch with work. I was sort of working on Hollyoaks in Liverpool, and they were, notorious for not paying very well. They were more like a training ground, but, you didn't get paid very particularly well. And although it was also a great show to work on for just learning to move to work fast. But I've been working on that, and I got a phone call to do Troy, which was just like, amazing. And it was, it was out in Mexico mostly, as well as Malta, but most of it was Cabo San Lucas in Mexico. And just the scale of it, the money involved, the budget was something like 200 million. I just found it so exciting and sort of sword and sandal epic with, loads of kit, cranes and 4x4 vehicles that each department had. So you were sort of driving around the sand and, logistically trying to just work out how to move around the set was fun. And also you kind of have less responsibility. You're not there. I wasn't the head of department. I wasn't the mixer. I was the second second assistant sound. So you're kind of, it was really hard because we did 6-day weeks, which you don't really do now. We had 1 day off, and it was so hot, but I really, that screams to me as a real big event in my life. So I think that's definitely one of the most up there.
Takes me to my next question. Well, it's two, but let's do one first. Do you have to be crazy to get into film?
I mean, maybe you do. I think maybe crazy and a little bit ignorant in a good way. You gotta be comfortable with being uncomfortable, which sounds weird, but I think not everyone wants to put up with no money and no work and having to really sweat and that kind of insecurity. So I think in a way you do have to be a bit crazy. But yeah, I was going to pick up on the point you made earlier actually about you're just saying about things that are fun, and the feeling of being like, you know, what you're doing is sort of required and needed, and you fulfill the kind of purpose. And I was going to just say that is a really good point actually about the enjoyment and pleasure of working in this business. Is being, you know, anything more collaborative is often more fun, I think, and feeling like you can put your ideas out there and be useful, or yeah, I think that always is definitely much more pleasurable than perhaps if you're just more of a cog in a wheel and you're just going through the motion.